Call to order. All right, so welcome to tonight's PTO meeting. Thank you so much, everyone, for adjusting and meeting us on Zoom. We're glad we could still get together. For those of you, I know most people on here may have been to the PTO meetings before, but in case you have not, my name is Julie Abrams. I'm one of the co-chairs. I have a 5th grader, Nicholas, and a 3rd grader, Olivia, and a one-day future attendee that'll be there in a couple years. And I will turn it over to my other co-chair, Mike.
Hey, I'm Mike Stefanski. I'm the other co-chair with Julie. Hank is in 4th grade and Ivy is in 2nd grade. We were just talking this week about how we keep thinking she's younger than she is, and she wasn't happy about that. So, Stephanie, I'll pass to you.
Hi, I am Stephanie Schramm. I'm dispersing treasurer. I have Serafina is in 3rd grade and Elliot is in kindergarten. I am with Ravenna. And Caitlin.
Hi, everyone. This is Caitlin Schomp. My sick household is one of the reasons that we're on Zoom tonight, so I appreciate that. It's also why I don't have my camera on. My daughter Vivian is in 3rd grade, and I have a future NPE student who is 2 years old. Allie?
Hi, I'm Allie Kuzma. Another reason why my whole household has strep throat too. So I have a 1st grader and then almost 5 and a 3-year-old. So 2 more future NPE kids, and I'm the receiving treasurer.
And then Sarah.
You're muted, Sarah.
Thank you. Sorry. I'm Sarah Hall. I'm currently at gymnastics. What am I saying? Oh, I'm vice co-chair, and then I have twins at NPE in 2nd grade and a junior in high school. So
we are unfortunately missing our lovely secretary, Jess, tonight. She worked that election day yesterday so hard that she has no voice left. So we appreciate all that she's done. Unfortunately, she will not be with us tonight, but Jess has Marty, a 5th grader, and Mitch, a 3rd grader.
All right, then if anybody cares, particularly with in Zoom, we were just going to probably just announce the offer to introductions as much as we like to share, but seeing that many folks are kind of staying off camera, which is fine for the evening. But our agenda for tonight, we wanted to, I'm going to actually just table approving the minutes because we don't have quorum. So we'll just do October and November minutes at our next meeting. So tonight we're going to have a principals update, staff update from Ms. Goldman, and then some committee updates and new business if anybody has anything to call forward. And I'm not going to say jinx the meeting here, but I will pass it over to Mr. Heinley for a principals update.
Great. All right, thank you very much. It's great to see everyone. I hope everyone feels better. We're certainly seeing it in school. We've had quite a few students unfortunately fall ill, and adults, including myself, the last couple of weeks. So hopefully we get through this with everyone feeling better pretty quickly. Like to thank everyone for coming out to the Halloween parade. I think the students and the adults all had a great time. It was nice to be on the backfield for the first time in quite some time due to I think 2019, it was bad weather. We actually had to do it inside. So it was the first time in 3 or 4 years we've actually been on the backfield, and I thought it went well. So it was really, everyone seemed to be very happy out there, which we were excited about. I know the students enjoyed the opportunity to dress up and experience the classroom parties. And thank you to the homeroom parents for all the work that they put in and collaborating with the teachers. Phillies fever hit NPE. Unfortunately, it came to a little bit of an earlier end, I think, than we were hoping to, but as a big baseball fan, I certainly appreciated the sea of red that we had in the hallways. The staff picture day fell right in the middle of the Phillies run. So the staff wore red, or Phillies picture, or I'm sorry, Phillies shirt, jersey. It actually made it on the news. Lauren DeProsperous sent it in, and it's actually on our website. I think if you go to the NPE page, it was just posted today. It's actually a great picture. We had a variety of shirts. I had my retro Juan Samuel jersey, for anyone out there that knows who Juan Samuel is, back in the 80s. But it was really exciting. It's a great picture of the staff. So if you have a minute, please check it out. Conference signups. I've probably seen the e-blast hopefully by now. The conference signups are live and will continue to be live until next Monday. The NPE Spiritwear site is also open, and I believe that closes on November 17th. So that will also be in the subsequent e-blasts, but lots of items to check out for the NPE Spiritwear, which benefits our student council. November is our cultural proficiency. The teacher leaders that I spoke of earlier, working with the district. Our theme for November in the building is teamwork. Teachers have a variety of read alouds that they can do with their classrooms. And we're really excited about a large tree, if you will. If you know where Miss Jackie used to be, the old entrance of NPE, the first, second grade hallway, there's a big wall in front of the library on the student side. There's a massive tree, paper mache tree that Sarah Benamy put together. And all of the classes are going to be putting together a large gratitude tree. Each classroom has leaves. Students will cut them out, write their name on the back of the leaf, and in black marker or Sharpie, 1 to 3 things that they're grateful for. So the tree looks amazing. I'll try to get a picture out, maybe try to get an e-blast, or certainly on the website. Saw the first couple leaves go up today. We're just hoping we can find a way that they stay up there on that concrete wall, but we're excited for the gratitude tree and the theme of teamwork throughout November. And I believe that is all I actually have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Heinley. Any questions for Mr. Heinley? All right. Hearing none. Oh, wait, was there?
No, I was just saying
okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I should introduce
Sure, okay.
Miss Goldman
Please.
is here tonight. We're thrilled to have her. As I always say to Miss Goldman, she knows I say she's really creative. She does a lot in our library and a lot of STEM work. And Miss Goldman has one of the biggest hearts. She just really enjoys our children and our students, and really tries to create an imaginative, exciting place in the library, not just for books, but also for some STEM activities and different forms of media. So she has a couple things coming up shortly, so I'm going to pass it off to her. But thank you, Ms. Goldman, for joining us tonight.
You're welcome. And I did promise Mr. Heinley that I would be short because I'm a talker. You know, most teachers are. And I tend to ramble. So a few things. I do run the STEM Club, which is the only STEM club in any of the elementary schools in WSSD. I've run 2 sessions generally. It's for 4th and 5th and 2nd and 3rd. Because of a new administration hire, I'm hoping maybe we could get a second person to join me so we could extend it to more people. I usually do it in the spring. So, you know, I do a lot of things about physics, a lot of engineering, the engineering process. And, you know, it's a lot of fun. Sorry, it's a lot of fun. The kids love it. And they always ask me, you know, we're doing a STEM club, we're doing a STEM club. So, you know, that usually goes out in about February. Second thing is that we have an upcoming Scholastic Book Fair. I've announced the theme to the kids. It's Lego, and they're all they're obsessed, especially some of the boys, the little ones. You know, and again, that kind of goes back to the STEM with the engineering. And So we're, I go all out for the book fairs, but I do ask for volunteers. I need as many as I can get. Mr. Henley has sent out an e-blast with the link for the volunteers. If you need it, please let me know. That is really, really, really imperative. It is, we expect delivery the week of November 15th. We have no date yet, but I will get back to everybody. It's the day after Thanksgiving break. And the last thing is that we have, I wrote a grant, a rather large grant for a library vending machine, which sounds odd. But if you imagine one of those glass-fronted snack vending machines that like has the spiral metal thingy, that pushes snacks out, because I saw the need for it as a alternative to teachers having to supply prizes and rewards for our PBIS behavioral program. So what basically it is what it says. It's a book vending machine, and it is, the kids earn enough dolphin dollars and they get a gold coin and they get to use it. We have, it hasn't been decided yet, the frequency, but they put the gold coin in, they could choose their own book that they could keep, which, it creates a buzz. And anything that creates a buzz, creates excitement for our behavioral management system is a good thing. So the more information for that is upcoming. It is on Donors Choose. We're just working out some little bits and pieces, but if you want to look it up, see what it is, you're welcome to do so. And I will stop talking because I just could keep on going. Is there any questions?
Stephanie.
Will there be evening times for the book fair like in prior years?
It honestly, it depends on if I get the volunteers.
Okay.
Because running the book fair last May by myself with some of the staff was very, very, very difficult. Mm-hmm. And without having, additional people. So it depends on how many volunteers I get.
I just know, at least before COVID, like we all came as a family on the evening night, and it was a really good activity for all of us to go to and like pick out some books and see what books like our kids were interested in. So it was a really good, I think, like community kind of event, because you can get some kids, like maybe the parents don't want to send money in, and then they can bring their kids up so that they could still buy something within their budget or something like that. So just a suggestion, and I just know we really loved it. So
yeah, I enjoy it. Again, it comes down to staffing and and training. But I'm willing to do it as long as I have help. Hope that answers your question. Okay. Are there any other questions?
And I have to say that Serafina loved STEM Club last year. That was like one of the best things that she did last year, and she just loved it so much. And I see Marie done it too. They had a blast. So
I got guilted for a long time because it was her birthday or spring break, and I forgot to sign her up. And I was immediately the worst parent in the world because everyone was in STEM Club except for her words. So
I really hope that you can.
I just wrote.
Well, I hope to start maybe, to do, more sessions. I'm hoping, one of our staff members, not naming names, but I'm hoping someone could, help me out with it. So I would love to do more. I have, I've worked, I have extensive backgrounds in it, education. I've worked for the Franklin Institute, teaching STEM and pretty much every school district in Montgomery County and some in Delaware County and Bucks County doing this. So, I really enjoy it. Okay.
Mrs. Goldman, there's a question. Do we need to await the arrival of the books to volunteer for the book fair?
Yes, because they come in these ginormous, if that's word, used for the kids, gigantic metal rolling cases, like bookshelves. And, and then we kind of we move around the tables. we, we moved down the tables and we set this up like all in one day. And I got it to come before the book, before the report cards, before spring break. So we would have that extra time to set it up properly, because there's all these little, like, little tchotchkes, posters the kids love. And so, pretty much as soon as the books come, we start. And I could have Mr. Heinley put out an announcement when I do get a definitive date.
So I think that was the question in the chat. I think that probably answered that question. Okay, they said, thank you. Happy to volunteer for that. So,
Okay.
there you go. You got one volunteer.
All right. Oh gosh. Oh, yeah, he's great.
But I guess
Thank
the
you.
other question then, would be, in addition to those types of volunteers, you would need volunteers who would be able to help in the evening. If that would be the route, we would be able to go. So I guess we'd have to put up a sign up maybe to, stir up a response prior to make sure we had enough.
Definitely.
Okay.
I mean, as many hands on deck as we could get. I mean, especially during the afternoons and during the book fair, because that's when I have the kindergarten through third grade. I mean, the fourth and fifth could handle money themselves, but try to explain tax to a kindergartner is a lot of fun. We have we're pushing. I'm pushing e-wallets like we did last May. I mean, we had such a good response. We were like one of the top participants in the e-wallet program in Pennsylvania, like, providing it, like the funding. And it was really good that the kids didn't have to worry about coins and dropping them and and losing money and giving money away and things like that.
Great. Okay, so perhaps maybe we'll come up with like a set number or like a desired number, that we would need, and then we can get that out for you. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to contact me. Email is the best. I am constantly on the move, so the phone is generally across the library for me, and I can't get there in time. So, email is egoldman@wssd.org. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Ms. Goldman. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, excellent. Then I think we'll move into committee updates. I wanted to hear from Turkey Trot, and then I have a couple quick updates on, and others might have better information either in two, but around bake sale, movie night, conference dinners, directory, and then kind of just want to start thinking about some of our spring events, and where we have the volunteers and any just so that people start thinking about it, I think is the big thing before it becomes tomorrow. So, which is how I'm feeling with Camp Fair right now. So with that, Kelly, I'm assuming this is Kelly Convery on Kelly. Do you have a Turkey Trot update for us?
Yes, good evening. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, thanks, Kelly.
Okay. So great news. We exceeded last year's totals. Last year was 867 runners, which was the record. Right now we're at 872. So we exceeded last year. Biggest thing we need volunteers. So right now the biggest need is for race marshals. We need around 12 more race marshals. With the race going through the community, there are barricades, but we do not have the ability to close down the roads that the runners are running on. We definitely have a need for race marshals. We need 12 more. It's definitely a safety concern if we don't get the race marshals. So I would really like it if you guys can promote, or people on the line, if you just go to delcoturkeytrot.com, on the left-hand side, there's volunteers. Click on it and you can see where the need for volunteers are. So the race marshals is the biggest that we need. It's pretty easy. You get an awesome orange vest. You'll meet at NPE. We'll give you coffee and donuts. We'll give you your assigned location, and if it's too far, we'll actually give you a ride on the golf cart. So it's really easy peasy. Not a lot of experience necessary, and will tell you exactly what to do. But it's a safety issue if we don't have that. So that's one big thing we need. Another thing is we set up at 7 a.m. and we have tables that we had to set up, cases of water. It's very quick, but we definitely need some strong men to help us because last year I pulled my back out and I'm not trying to do that this year. So we need a couple of strong men or strong women. I'm not strong enough, I guess, to set up tables and carry out the cases of water. Steph, did you have an update on tables?
Yeah, so we have, we're able to borrow some tables from NPE. Allie has said that she can get 3 of them, but we need somebody with a truck or a really big car to get 4 more 8-foot tables. Because I can get the 6-foot, I think, in my SUV, but we have 8-foot tables. So we have 4 8-foot tables that we need picked up. So if anybody has a pickup truck or a really big car and is willing to coordinate, we can coordinate for you to pick up at NPE either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday morning, and then bring it Thursday for the race at 7 a.m. That would be great. And then you're welcome to leave and go home to your, turkey, or stay and be a marshal, or run the race, whatever you need to do. So, but that is like the race need right now. So.
And Stephanie, I think just to clarify on that, would the individual who picks them up, where are they picking them up from?
From the school, from NPE.
And is it just because we can't get access to the building day of? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Because
can they get left there, or how does that individual need to bring them home on Thanksgiving as well?
Mr. Heinley. It depends on if Mr. Heinley will still be there when we
get him
break
back
down
in.
or not.
We'll get him back in. Yeah, the
Okay.
problem is I can't be there early enough, or else I would
Yeah.
honestly I would just open it up. And unfortunately, not unfortunately, but because it's Thanksgiving, I don't have school personnel that I can call on, to open the building. I mean, it sounds like, whoa, can't you just? I have a family, like I just can't get there that early.
Oh, it makes perfect sense. I think like that, just to know what the ask is. So it really is just pick it up.
Yeah, it's more of like just
bring
picking
them
up
day
and
of.
bringing the morning of versus like holding on to them and everything. So like if somebody picks them up like Tuesday night and keeps them in their truck until Thursday, it's not the end of the world,
Yeah,
So,
but I believe we'll get him back in. That's my my thinking.
We'll walk them back to my house one at a time if we need to. So.
And Steph, I was gonna say, if we wanted to take them over to Creekside, we could put them in the breezeway at Creekside.
There we go too.
So
yeah,
they'd be undercover.
It would just be, making sure that we have enough people the morning of to help move them from there, because we also were considering getting them from the firehouse, but again, then moving them all the way over to the school is a lot more manpower. So, I mean, if worst case, we can put them there. But I would rather just, if somebody can like drop them off literally in front of the school at 7 on Thanksgiving morning, that would be a lot easier to move them around. But
agree. Just let you know you have the option.
Thank you for the offer.
I think that's it for turkey. I think that's it for turkey trot, right?
I think so.
Sarah Hall just said, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No problem.
I was going to say, Sarah Hall just said that she has a truck that can be used if there's extra hands.
Okay. Yeah, Sarah, I mean, I'm happy to meet you at the school to help load them. So we'll coordinate then, Sarah, if you have the truck. Okay. Awesome. That would be great. Thank you, guys. Thanks for the support from PTO and the community. And this is already proving to be like super successful and supporting our school. So we're excited about having so many people in our community. So.
Thank you, Stephanie and Kelly. It's just a great fundraiser for the PTO, and it's like a major reason why we can do a lot of things that we're doing. So appreciate everything that you're doing to lead us, and to everyone that's volunteering on the committees as well. Does anybody have any questions or comments about Turkey Trot for Kelly before we move on?
I can just, I have, me and Michelle have an update on assemblies, or do you want me to wait on assemblies?
Sure, no, go for it. Yeah.
Okay, so for assemblies, we are working with Mr. Heinley and Carolyn to come up with dates. We're going to have 3 assemblies this year. We're going to have the Science Explorers, a magician, and then we're going to have Traditions of India, which is a dance group which has culture and spiritual life of India and beautiful dances through. That should be a good one. So we have, we're working with dates. All 3 of these assemblies are going to be two sessions. I did confirm with all vendors that they had to be back to back. So I did recommend that one, maybe the most expensive one is Traditions of India. That one should be in the afternoon this year. And then the magician and the Science Explorers would be in the morning, because I know we have to coordinate with kindergarten, so not having everything in the morning and not having everything in the afternoon will probably be the fairest. So I'm just working with Carolyn to get dates on those, but we're gonna shoot for probably one in December, January, February, March, and one April, May. So, and they're 40 minutes each. So just working on dates on those.
Great, thanks so much. Any questions about that?
Just a fun fact, I used to do the assemblies for Science Explorers. I used to be
Could you give us a discount?
I don't know, but I can always call.
No, we're
So you
under
could be like
budget,
the
so it doesn't
special
matter.
guest. Excellent. All
I
right,
probably still do them
then.
in my sleep.
I think bake sale, I don't know if anybody has like an official number, but the exchange over text last night was that it likely raised over $1,200
It was
for the
1,400.
PTO.
Mike, it was
1,500, all right.
1,400. Mhm.
Mhm.
1,400. Yeah, it was more than 1,000, which I just think is like mind blowing. So that is awesome. So thank you if anybody is on that help volunteer either by bringing in or manning the tables, or what's a better word for manning? Working the tables. Much appreciated. I don't have a budget up right now, but Stephanie, do you happen to have one up and know what our projection on that was?
I can get it up right now. I know
Okay.
last year it was about 700, so I think that's what we made it for. Yeah, $700 income this year. The only things that I have in there officially is the Venmo and the PayPal that we did accept. We got over $200 in Venmo, so I think going ahead with the Venmo for our charity was a great move. And then we're just waiting for the cash for Ali to collect that and then deposit that. So
Julie dropped it off today. I'll deposit it on Friday.
and then I'll obviously update the budget with the actual totals, because we did take out like $100 in change, so we could give change if anyone needed it. So, but yeah, I think it was like $13.99, so it was like $1,400 was what we added it all up to. So
It's awesome.
yeah.
All right, so that another step at helping us close the gap on our goal. Anyone have any questions about that? All right, next is movie night. I don't think there's any other chairs that helped out on that, but feedback, I don't know. I want to be like, movie night was a great success when I like helped organize it, but I do think that movie night was a great success. I think we definitely had more than 196 people there, because that's how many popcorn bags that we made. We were trying to keep track of like passing out some tickets just to have an idea of how many more. So I'm going to guess that it was in the order of like 250 to 300. And like, as we plan for next year, would do like a 300, like plan for 300. I think the attendance, like everyone was like I think it was just a nice community event. Everyone was able to come in and enjoy. I feel like the noise in the background was relatively contained. And like, I know we can't control the weather, but like it was a beautiful night. And just as a reminder that we got a 1-year license, unlimited license for movies. So Mr. Harley, this is a little bit for you. If you need to show a movie like officially and like responsibly at the school at all, like we have access to that. We can have the license for that, but aim to do October 14th next year as the movie, because that will be day 364 on this license, so that we'll be able to take advantage of that annual license. Anybody that was in attendance that has any feedback? Yep, Michelle.
I think it was great. You guys didn't even need me.
That was the best part of it.
No, it was great. I thought it was well done.
But also, if fifth grade committee wants to do something with movies too, they have the ability to use the licenses for that as well. So it's just another option for fundraising if for some reason they need to fundraise for fifth grade.
Awesome.
So if there is any feedback, we could pass it on to the committee and kind of just capture it for next year's group. But I hope that it's like a nice tradition that people enjoy and that we can keep doing in years to come, at least one more year, since we have the license
Did we break even on it, or what? How did we do financially with it?
I think we did better than break even.
Oh, good.
Are all the expenses in?
Yep. And it's mostly expenses. We didn't get much income, but that was what we planned. We changed course after we set up the budget. So once we set up the budget, it was like we expected an income of $850 and expenses of $1,500, and that's about what we expected anyway. And then we kind of talked about it. We weren't going to charge for the event. We weren't going to charge a lot for like the candy and all that kind of stuff. So with the candy wise, we totally pretty much broke even and made $250. So, I mean, that was a good to help offset some of the income, but we wanted it to be more of a community event. So we knew it was going to be an expense.
Right. Yeah, I just was curious. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We weren't worried about the income portion.
Yeah. So I think we stayed under the budget there. And also too, when you
Absolutely.
consider we bought the annual license, there's like a little bit of projecting a future expense onto this as well. So
yeah, and again with the expenses we ended up going over just a little bit, but it offsets with the income. So we're good to go. It was fine.
All right. Conference dinners. I don't see Jessica on here. We are working with Jessica Brill to get out a link, Sign Up Genius. So we will be looking for volunteers to bring. I think we're going to kind of go this with it being the fall here, kind of go the soup salad stew route. So we'll get some information out on that. It would just be for Monday night because that's the only evening. So in the future e-blast, we'll provide that link as well as instruction for the conference dinners. I'm pretty sure that is the plan here. And then last thing of updates that I have is to share around directory. We've put the file into the system, and I think we're just waiting for the system to kind of process through it. So that should be coming out shortly about the how to access the information. You can now click through the directory on the PTO page. It gives you the option to update your class information. So just something that everybody can kind of take action to do now, and we'll provide further instruction, and appreciate Jessica Brill for helping load that file up for us and get that kind of updated. So that was kind of all the active updates that I was aware of. Does anybody else have anything to update on before kind of looking at future events into the spring?
I'm not really actually sure where this would fit in, but this could be a little bit of
a bridge.
It's a bridge. It's a potential to maybe need some more volunteers. It's something kind of in the future. It's I just wanted to bring up for the general public that it looks like we are going to be able to have a Girls on the Run program again. So it's a 10-week program. It'll be I always want to say next semester, but it'll be after the winter break. It'll be in the spring, I should say. We do have some volunteer coaches at this point, but it might be something where we could need additional volunteers. We're meeting on that next week, so we'll have more information. But just if you have a daughter in 3rd to 5th grade, just keep an ear out or an eye out for that.
And then as we look towards the second semester, I think like kind of our first major event might be Camp Fair, and I think I'm teeing that up to be February 11th. I need to put a building request form in just to make sure that is all accessible, if not February 4th. But I've heard from the camps that a couple camps last year saying like we really need it to be after January because they're still trying to figure things out, so they don't want it to be too early. But I'll start promoting for that, and that will be something that we'll need day of volunteers, more just for like some crowd control, cleanup, as well as an opportunity to bake sale there. And then Steam night and Read Across America night. Hillary, I see you. I don't want to put you on the spot on anything, but just kind of acknowledging like those events coming up. So if there is anything you want to say and come off mute, great. If not, we will just kind of have our sights on that in the coming months to make sure that we can get everybody the right volunteers and the right community event. So saw you came off, Hillary.
Hey, I do not have a lot to say about it right now, other than I believe March 2nd is the date that we'd sort of tentatively thrown out there. I think, I don't know whether it's totally set. Julie, I thought you had mentioned that at one point.
And I think that is because that is Read Across America night.
Right, so
yeah. So that's kind of other people decide that date for us.
There's only one person on the Sign Up Genius right now who is signed up to volunteer on the committee. So I think right now my point of business is just I have a list of people who volunteered last year and just trying to get a few more people and then move forward on reaching out to the people who read last year. So those are the next two things on my agenda, is just getting some more help all the way around.
That makes sense. And yeah, we can just keep kind of pushing forward. Thanks, Roberta. Hillary, you have another volunteer with Roberta there.
Thank you. Awesome.
All right. Anybody have any other committee updates or questions? Does anybody have any new business they want to bring forward? This would include, great, Michelle.
So I've been hearing recently that like part of the playground is broken or under construction and like kids are trying to climb on it. So like, I guess I was just wondering from like the bigger picture, and I know we talked a little bit about this last year too, like from a district standpoint, I mean, are there like grants available we can get maybe to look at like purchasing some new equipment? I mean, is that, I don't know. I guess I don't really know how much the PTO would be involved in something like that. I mean, I've looked into it a little bit and it does seem like it needs to be somewhat of a collaborative effort. So maybe Mr. Heinley could offer some advice about that, but I do think maybe that's something we should look at because I think the equipment's getting kind of old.
Yeah, so I hear two things there. The first one is the small toy, which is more of an issue. There's two sections that I've been in constant communication with operations about either fix it or take it all down. We were within about 24 hours of that small toy with the like little ramp of being dismantled. Like it was going to be tomorrow or this week, I should say, Friday. Fortunately, it does seem to have been repaired. They've been in touch with the vendor for the lily pad, and the replacement part has been ordered. For the second part, it's just a matter of how long it's going to take to get in. They explained to me how they're going to cap that off. So the bottom line is the repairs that, I'm glad you brought that up. That small toy is what it's called, or used to be called back in the day, was from the old building. It was the handles, the bolts had kind of come off. And one morning, just last week, we found it kind of significantly and it had a jagged edge, and we were ready to shut it down that day. I was like, during the day, we can monitor that equipment. I was more so worried about out of school. And I'd actually talked to a couple parents from, who visit the playground off hours. So the bottom line is that was fixed today. I saw pictures of it when I was at the middle school. The other piece they're capping off, but the larger picture is I would agree. I think that both of those pieces of equipment I don't know how old they are, but I know that they go back to the old NPE. So I'm going to say they're probably between 20 to 25 years, roughly. Because I've seen old pictures and I'm like, oh, yeah, that they're actually, considering how old they are, they've held up well. I would absolutely be interested in it, in looking at new equipment. We'd have to bring in, well, there's a lot of pieces to that. There's the engineer, but that's down the line. The big piece is, they're really expensive. So it's certainly something that I would be interested in, and it would have to be kind of a collaboration. We're talking six figures sometimes. I mean, sometimes you can find some a little bit cheaper, but I know that when we looked at some additional equipment for some of the pieces we have out there, man, they are not cheap. They are not cheap.
So, I mean, like, is this part of, like, does the district allot like money for this? Is there like a budget? I mean, what about, like, could we apply for some grants? Like, I don't know, like my school applied for a grant and like they've covered most of it, but I mean, it's also a different situation there. So I just like, what are the options?
So I am not familiar in all the years I've worked, and I'm sure there are ways it can be done. The ways that I'm familiar with in my first school, it was a grant, and I mean that was born out of 9/11 and a 9/11 kind of fundraiser for a memorial playground at Glenwood, where I used to teach. Other places, I'm familiar with grants, but again, it's kind of different situation than necessarily NPE. School districts, the ones I've been part of have no budget line item for equipment as far as playground goes, unless it's maybe new construction. Hello. So right now there's no district monies that I am familiar with. I'm not saying we can't find a way, maybe the foundation, but once you do that for one school, it's going to be all the schools in the district would have to have that same opportunity. So I would certainly say we should probably look at a grant, and maybe if we're looking at it, it would be a kind of a longer term planned thing, collaboration, between the school and PTO.
Yeah, because like I started just kind of filling one out for the one that my school used, and they were like asking for like dimensions of the playground and all this kind of, like that's above like anything that I could give. So like I started it and then was kind of like, this is more than something I can be, I need more help than just me. So I mean, I guess we can talk with the PTO about maybe how we can help out with that, but I definitely think that's something we should keep on our radar.
I agree.
Yeah, and last year was kind of thrown. I think Jess kind of mentioned too, like it probably will need like actually a committee that's willing to kind of like work at it for multiple years and not just like a pop-in type committee. So almost like a standalone entity of some sorts to really kind of take a look at the budget. So I don't know how true that is, but I'm curious and wondering if anybody is like interested in exploring this further. Michelle, I don't want to say you had the idea, so therefore you're spearheading it here. I don't want it to be that, unless if you want it to be that, but I think it warrants additional information, but maybe something that requires a different structuring. Christine, I saw you come on video, so I don't know if that means you wanted to participate and add anything here.
So I'm on a foundation board here in Delaware County, and I know there are grants available because Eddystone Elementary School in the Ridley School District received a grant from the state. And the reason I know that is I was the signer because we were the foundation that received the money for them so that we could then get the playground put in. Like I had to go in and sign all these documents with the state because I was the secretary of the foundation. And so it was like all this whole process I had to go through to authorize the money to come down. The two things I would say, we might want to talk with Leanne Kruger about what state grants are available and how to go about our recently reelected state representative who's got a child in our school. And also we should probably talk with Franny Riley, who's the head of the foundation, the Wallingford Swarthmore, whatever they call themselves, foundation. Because my understanding, at least from chatting with her up at the high school, is she's always looking for projects to fundraise for the district, and is having trouble not necessarily from individual schools getting information, but sort of working collectively with the entire district to fundraise. So I think we should chat with both of those folks about what opportunities might be available, because I know at least with the one we did with the state for Eddystone, the money had to come in through like a foundation, like I had to sign these documents for them to put the application in and then receive the money. And it took a while. It was not a short process. It took a couple of years, but the money came down then.
I don't mind reaching out to Leanne. I can take care of the Leanne part, and actually probably Franny too. I think that might be a smaller, but certainly worth checking it out with her.
Well, they may need to be the party that receives.
They might need to
or an
receive the
obvious
money.
party that receives the money in order to make the purchase.
And maybe
I
she can
think-
help us think about some more grant opportunities we could apply for.
I think it would be a good idea maybe to put it out to our NPE public and see if there is anybody who wants to join the committee to maybe get these grants through, or, you know, look at any opportunities that we do get from Leanne or Franny going forward. I think that would be a really good committee to maybe start. And then like fundraising opportunities outside of, you know, the PTO used to put on tons of different kinds of fundraising. So we have lots of ideas that we don't do anymore that they could easily add on, and then PTO or the foundation can hold that money. So
Who, the township just got the money from the state for the playground at the old Summit School property. So who's our township representative? Where does the MP sit? Who's the rep right there? Is that, I don't know if it's 7, if I don't know if it's Shayna and 5, or it's 7, if
That's a
Marty
good
on my
question.
side.
Jess would know that, but she's not.
Because
I know, that's what I'm like.
we should ask, you know, who the township went to for their grant to get the playground equipment at the Summit School. That old, you know, where the property was torn down. I went by there the other day. The playground equipment there looks lovely.
I
But I know
heard,
that was-
it's a great park.
That was a state funding too.
I think these are all amazing ideas. Thank you so much, Christina, too, for sharing that insight, and Michelle for kind of like spearheading the conversation. And I think also to Stephanie's great point as well, you know, like you said, putting this out to the community and maybe putting out a, you know, a committee, right, that was suggested. And so perhaps there will be some people as a part of that committee that will work on the grant process, and perhaps, right, yeah, you. And then some people on that committee that might maybe want to work on a fundraising aspect. And then some people that would want to be a liaison for the school district. He's looking down right now. That was Principal Hiley. But
I'm sorry,
you
I'm
know, so
listening.
I'm just
Right-
kidding. I know,
right
I'm
next.
joking. But you know, so perhaps we put that out, and then we have some, you know, collaboration there, and kind of like subcommittees within a committee, and putting it out to the community as well. Because yes, it is our playground, but so many other people in the community that maybe don't even attend our school use the playground. So, you know, you never know what we're going to find. And I know Leanne was the one who I think put the playground into Hepburn Park, you know, who made that happen, which is night and day, if anyone's seen that playground compared to what was there. So yeah, these are all wonderful ideas. Thank you.
Yeah, and Catherine, could we probably like connecting with Cade's would be worthwhile, because I think they just did a whole my kids are old enough that I'm not going there as much anymore, but they may have some ideas too of how to approach it.
And Mike and Julie, I just sent a link to a website that looks to be sort of like a launch pad for a number of different grant programs, including one for a shade structure, which is something that we've talked about in the past as well. So I think there's a lot of stuff out there, and I'd be happy to work with Michelle on this. She and I work well
Wonderful.
together.
So I hear that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Caitlin. We were talking about that shade structure for sure. So thank you.
All right. Well, thanks, Michelle. Anybody else have any new business? All right. And I do want to just, before wrapping up too, like, just want to note, like, this is exactly the type of idea, like, during new business, we would love to be hearing. So thank you, Michelle, for bringing it up. If anybody has anything like that, like, this is the place where we want to be able to discuss, like, what it is that we want to be spending our time together collectively to improve the NPE community. So if you have any idea, if not tonight, in the future, please feel free to email NPE PTO parent, I think it is. But on the website, like email our inbox, we can get the idea like formally on, or just bring up the idea and any feedback. As Julie said at like our first meeting, we want an open dialogue and discourse. If you have any feedback, both positive or constructive, this is the time where we'd love to hear it. So,
and just because you bring up
with
an idea doesn't mean you're going to have to do it. Like if you bring up an idea, does not mean you're going to be like in charge of it. So don't be afraid to bring it up because
Unless it's Michelle. Michelle's always in charge.
Michelle. But
Yeah.
If it's something that like somebody else might also be thinking of, and they'd be like, oh, I would like to do something like that too. So just, I don't want anybody to think that just like we're joking with Michelle, but like if anybody, as our previous prior president, you know, don't feel obligated that you're going to have to take on all of that work if you suggest something. So.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion?
Sure, I motion.
Thank you. All right, second. All right, all
Second.
those in favor, I'm going to assume you're all saying aye.
Yay.
Any opposed? So, all right, well, thank you all for the time tonight, and hopefully in December we'll see everyone in person again. Take care all.
Have a
Thank
great
you,
night.
everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye-bye.